The imperial court of Zephyria fell silent as the massive doors groaned open. Every ambassador, every dignitary, every noble from 100 worlds turned to witness what should have been impossible. Princess Arya Castellan walked through those doors. 10 years ago they had exiled her. 10 years ago, the Galactic Council had stripped Earth of its voting rights, declared humanity too volatile, too unpredictable for civilized space. They had taken the youngest daughter of Earth's royal house as a hostage to ensure compliance, then abandoned her on Terminus 7, a barren world at the edge of the dead reaches where no ship traveled and no rescue would ever come. They had sent her there to die quietly, forgotten. But Arya Castellan had not died. The woman who now strode across the crystalline floor bore little resemblance to the frightened 17-year-old girl they remembered. She wore armor that seemed to shift like living shadow, technology no empire possessed. Her eyes, once bright with youth, now carried the weight of impossible years. Behind her marched something that made the gathered powers of the galaxy take an involuntary step back. Soldiers. Hundreds of them, filing into the grand chamber with precise, inhuman coordination. Except they weren't entirely human anymore. Ambassador Theknor of the Vryn Dominion rose from his seat, his forearms trembling. This is impossible. The dead reaches they're dead. Nothing lives there. Nothing can live there. Arya stopped at the center of the chamber and her soldiers formed perfect ranks behind her. Up close, the ambassadors could see what made them wrong. Their armor pulsed with bioluminescent patterns. Their movements carried a fluid grace that suggested enhanced musculature, perhaps even synthetic augmentation. Most disturbing were their eyes. Each soldier bore irises that fractured light into impossible spectrums. "You sent me to die on Terminus 7, Arya said, her voice carrying across the chamber with unnatural clarity. What you didn't know, what your precious databases and your ancient surveys never discovered, was what slept beneath that world." Chancellor Mordax of the Sovereignty leaned forward. "Impossible. We scanned those worlds for centuries." "You scanned for life as you understand it," Arya interrupted. "The architects left something different, something that waited, something that needed the right catalyst." She gestured, and one of her soldiers stepped forward, removing his helmet. The assembled dignitaries gasped. His face was human, distinctly, recognizably human, but strange circuit-like patterns traced beneath his skin, glowing faintly with each breath. "Humans are unique in the galaxy," Arya continued. "You've always known this, always feared it. We adapt, we survive. We take the impossible and make it work. The architect's technology, ancient, incomprehensible to every race that's ever studied it, recognized something in human DNA, something that let us interface with systems billions of years old." Supreme Arbiter Zalith rose, his crystalline form chiming with agitation. "You cannot threaten this council. We represent 400 worlds, fleets that span—" "I'm not here to threaten you," Arya said softly. The chamber fell silent again. "I'm here to inform you. Earth's exile ends today. Humanity reclaims its seat on this council, with full voting rights restored." "And if we refuse?" Theknor demanded. Arya smiled, and it was a smile that had learned patience in the darkness between stars. "Then you'll discover what else sleeps in the dead reaches. You exiled me to one world. I've awakened 17. Each one holds architect installations. Each one now responds to human command. Each one contains technology your empires have spent millennia trying to understand." She raised her hand, and a holographic display materialized above the chamber. It showed star systems throughout the dead reaches, systems that had been marked as lifeless for eons. Now they pulsed with activity. Massive structures orbited dead worlds, structures that radiated energy signatures that made every sensor in the chamber scream warnings. "The architects built weapons, you see," Arya explained. "Weapons designed to face threats from outside the galaxy itself. Weapons that could crack planets, collapse stars, bend space-time until entire fleets simply ceased to exist. Your ancestors found these weapons and wisely decided never to activate them. They lacked the key." She tapped her chest. "Human neural patterns are the key. Our chaos, our unpredictability, our refusal to accept limitations. That's what the architects designed their systems to interface with. They wanted inheritors who wouldn't use such power lightly, but who would use it when necessary." "This is madness," Chancellor Mordax breathed. "You're one woman with one army. We have billions. I'm one woman who spent 10 years learning to think like the architects, Arya corrected. One woman who bonded with systems that can reshape matter at the quantum level. One woman who has 17 entire worlds of soldiers being grown, trained, and augmented as we speak. In 5 years, I'll have 10 million troops. In 10, 100 million. All of them enhanced. All of them loyal. All of them human. She let that sink in, watching fear dawn on alien faces across the chamber. But I don't want war, she continued, her voice softening. I never wanted any of this. I wanted to serve humanity on this council, to be a bridge between Earth and the stars. You took that from me. You tried to erase me. Instead, you gave me time. Time to become something more. Arya walked forward until she stood before the empty seat that had once been Earth's. My terms are simple. Restore humanity's position. Acknowledge Earth as a sovereign power with full council rights.
And never, never exile another human as you exiled me. Supreme Arbiter Zaleth's light pulsed rapidly, a sign of deep agitation.
And if we agree, what guarantee do we have that you won't use these weapons anyway? The same guarantee the architects built into their systems, Arya replied. These weapons can only be activated in defense of sentient life. The architects weren't conquerors. They were guardians against something worse. Something that may yet return. When it does, you'll be grateful humanity learned to wake their legacy. She placed her hand on Earth's empty seat. I give you 3 days to deliberate. If you refuse, I return to the dead reaches and continue building. In 20 years, maybe 30, humanity will be powerful enough that your approval won't matter. We'll take our place in the galaxy whether you grant it or not. But I'd prefer we do this as allies. The galaxy is vast and full of wonders. It's also full of darkness. The architects knew that. They prepared for it. Now humanity carries that preparation forward. Arya turned to leave, her army wheeling in perfect unison to follow. 3 days, she called over her shoulder. Choose wisely. As the doors closed behind her, the council chambers erupted into frantic debate. Outside, Arya allowed herself a small smile. She'd been terrified walking in, but she'd learned something crucial in her exile. Humans didn't just survive the impossible. They thrived in it, and now the galaxy would have to accept that truth, or face the consequences of denying it again. 3 days later, Earth's seat was no longer empty. The age of human exile had ended. The age of humanity ascendant had begun.